Hello there, and welcome to episode 32 of the Digital Cool Podcast with your host, Mars Wilson. I still don't have an intro yet. Still need one. Still haven't figured out how I'm going to do that yet. So, something I've kind of noticed, especially since I've had a little bit of more experience with guest episodes, is that I do prefer having that element of someone else to talk to, because talking to myself, I found, while it can be easy sometimes, it's not often my favorite thing to do just out loud to the general public. Not because I have anything to want to keep to myself, but I'm not good at that yet. I'm better at talking to people, I think, than talking to myself out loud with the purpose of other people listening. I think that makes sense. So, with that also kind of being said, please inquire to be a guest on this episode. You really don't have to do anything special. Just be a human being and email me. Email will be right there. I am really tired and I actually had an idea for things today, but my sleep schedule's been kind of weird lately, and I don't mind that, but it does create turbulence when I'm not on a designated sleep schedule, making it within the same hour every day kind of thing. But I don't know. Insomnia is weird. I've learned to accept and let go of a lot of stuff having to deal with sleep, especially when I was finally able to master it. I wouldn't say I'm a master of sleep yet. It eludes me sometimes, but I'm almost there. In another 30 or 40 years or so, I'll figure it out. So yeah, hello there. Hello and welcome to episode 32 of the Digital Cool Podcast. I know that was a lot of word vomit for the first 2 minutes of stuff, but I'm sorry if you've tuned in before. You know that's kind of the thing, the vibe here. If you haven't, then welcome to the chaos train that's also occasionally calm. I have had people describe me as a calm presence, and I'm I'm glad you feel that way, because I don't. I don't feel that way. I don't think. Calmness eludes me. I'm starting to better recognize it though, so that's a positive plus. And hopefully, if you are unable to recognize it for yourself, we'll figure that out together. Today's topics are kind of all mismatched and, not correlated. They're not correlated. Maybe a couple of them are. Actually, you know what? It's funny. There's 4 topics I wrote down here, and 2 of them correlate to each other. The other 2 correlate to each other. So I guess you could say I'm going to do that thing I do best with all of my neurospicy brilliance sometimes. Some of that was sarcasm, by the way. I don't necessarily believe it as brilliance for myself, because it, as I said, chaos. If you know, you know. Being a creative is interesting, no? We're all naturally creative as human beings, but some of us take it on as an actual thing. So creative plus, I guess, if you were to think of it as a video game stat. Creative is the default. Everyone in the game has that. But then some in the game have creative plus, which is an additional bonus stat. Does that make sense? When you start thinking of life in terms of video games, it becomes fun. It actually becomes fun. And even though I played video games most of my life, actually, I think 2 years old kind of counts for all of your life, because technically the first 2 years of your life don't matter. I mean, they matter, but like when it comes to gaming, it's almost like the initialization process. You're not quite there yet, but you're there. I'm thinking of No Man's Sky and other stuff, and how like you initialize worlds. There's also another game that does that I played recently, and I don't remember what that was. Speaking of games and gaming, that's actually one of the topics. And on here, I've written media, Animal Crossing, Twitter X, restart, DDLV, Like it literally says So I could only assume what I mean by that is I recently restarted Animal Crossing, right? I recently had to because I wanted to see about playing multiplayer. And then like the reason I had to restart it was actually kind of shitty, but at the same time it was a blessing in disguise, and I'll get to that part in a moment. 300 hours of gaming gone. That's fine. It's fine. But, I had to restart my Animal Crossing world on my Nintendo Switch because I switched from the, OG to the OLED sometime last year or the year prior. I don't remember. I don't remember. But, I loaded it up and I was confused why I had to start a new island, and then I realized I never backed it up onto the Nintendo Switch Online thing, which, by the way, I had already planned on doing this anyway because I kind of want people to play games with on the Switch, but at the same time, you know, I don't know. I liked seeing the stats because those are interesting stats to me. Like, how much do we put into things, and how much of those stats are us not actually playing the game, but rather just sitting in it because it's comforting. Anyway, friend request thing, code in description. I will leave that, so feel free. I honestly will accept any and all, because why not? It's like, it's barely friends on gaming systems, almost. Like, you can't really message each other. You can barely see when each other are online. Sometimes it's inaccurate. Why not? In the description, Nintendo Online friend code if you want to be friends on that. That's kind of cool. And I will try to remember your usernames. If they somehow match and I see you forming comments and other stuff online, like, that's cool. But at the same time, like, I'll try to, like, lump them together in the who you are profile of my brain. Had to restart the damn thing, and it's like, at first I was annoyed, but then I like chose a really cool island that I have a lot of plans for as I was planning on it, and then I was like, okay, this is actually kind of cute, like restarting it. Like, I kind of already knew everything, so I was going a little faster than I probably should, because I kind of want to also like redo my experience and like just read everything, but decisions. And I got through quite a bit of like the first early part of the tutorial. I still need to do a few other things. I haven't gotten Blathers yet. He might be there right now, actually. But I started playing it, and I got pretty far, and I was actually like for the first part, and I was actually sitting there like, wow, this is beautiful game. The music doesn't annoy the shit out of me. It doesn't lag or glitch or clip. The frame rate didn't drop when I switched it from dock to handheld to tabletop to whatever, which is technically handheld. But I was like, and after playing like fucking Disney Dreamlight Valley for all of 10 fucking minutes, mind you. I played it for like 10-15 minutes the same day that I like started playing Animal Crossing again, and it was clipping, it was lagging, like I couldn't really enjoy playing it because like I kept seeing the frame rate glitches, and usually those things don't bother me. Usually I don't notice quality because I don't care to be like, oh wow, look at this 4K thing. Like, oh yeah, it looks prettier than 1080p, but like I'm not prejudiced, I guess. I don't care about the quality. Like, can I see it? That's my mindset. Can I see it? Is it functional? Dreamlight Valley is not. And it pisses me the fuck off because it's like, Gameloft, you shameless money grabber, you, how dare you? I knew it was a game or cash grab when I originally bought it, but like at the same time, like I would hope that some gaming companies, popular ones, especially with beloved and like well sought after titles like this, would care just a little bit fucking more. Just a little bit more. Just give us that, please. But no. Meanwhile, it's shitty. It's just shitty. And I made a post about it. Switch to that for now. Into a media block real quick because I don't want to see myself. Thank you. Notification. Oh, neat. Okay. And also, I don't think that... Hello there. I don't think that, there. So, I had to restart my save from scratch because I forgot about the lack of online backup and I traded in my OG Switch for the OLED Switch eons ago. This is in reference to this post that Nintendo of America shared. This game, an opinion that won't make me any friends, is far superior to Dreamlight Valley, which I know there isn't much of a comparison because they are kind of different games, but they do fall into the realm of cozy and also well sought after titles, so I don't care. Dreamlight in every way, I am both not surprised and surprised. I have played almost every iteration, Wild World, New Leaf, City Folk, New Horizons, the Pocket Camp on mobile for a little while because I did care about mobile games a lot once upon a time, and now I dabble every now and again when I feel like it, especially when I take like social media breaks because I need something to doom scroll with. The pod has never crashed. The frame rate from dock to handheld doesn't suffer nearly as much. Glitches, hardly any. Frame cuts or lags, what are those? The large amount of things to do doesn't feel monotonous and pointless. Each task actually feels like a completion and not a haphazard chore. Animal Crossing, please never change unless it is to improve. You guys have held strong for years and years. I know the disappointments haven't been zero. I mean, come on, I did lose 300 hours on my save for the Switch, but the complaints may as well be in zero in comparison to D&D LV, who I managed to only play all of 10 minutes of and couldn't stand the clipping and lagging and dropping. I didn't pay $70 to fill out my library. I paid $70 to play a game with hopefully replayability for years to come. And so far, Dreamlight Valley is not replayable. I keep replaying it, sure. I keep replaying it, of course, because they update it, and they promise new changes, and they fix glitches, and they fix some bugs. But yet, to this day, in 2025, after they released this in 2022, September of 2022, mind you, in early release access, so it wasn't even complete by gaming standards. And there are people, vast amounts of people, who are still complaining about the glitching, lagging, clipping, frame rate drops, game-breaking bugs, and glitches. And I have to ask myself, why don't I just delete this game? 1, because I have hope. 2, because I do kind of want to be able to play it, but it keeps proving my ability to not play it. So I guess, for the rest of my life, this will be my 5 to 10 minute game, and everything else I'll be able to sink more hours and days into, because honestly, Dreamlight Valley, I was so excited for you. Because Disney, and I'm never really gonna probably afford to be able to go to Disneyland or World or whatever, and I don't know if I want to. So like, plus I wanted to experience it in a more digital format, in a way that I could interact with it and not have to pay millions of dollars for. So yeah, I was excited for you in 2022. I was like a kid getting a present on Christmas Day, and you have continuously disappointed this gamer. So yeah, I'm ashamed to admit it. I will be replaying you, but not because you're a replayable game. Because you have elements that I cannot find in other games, and that is it. Animal Crossing, No Man's Sky, Minecraft, Moonstone Island, Roots of Pacha, even Clue. Both the new and the old edition on the Switch. I can't remember what the new one's called. Clue Classic. All have more replayability than you. And that honestly saddens me in every single way possible, because the fact that cash grabs like you exist make my blood boil. And that actually brings me to a podcast topic I eventually want to do one day, which is kind of like a game. Shameless cash grab or legitimate business. Let's find out. What do you guys think about that idea? If you have managed to listen this far into the episode, what do you think about that game show idea where me and like one of my co-hosts, which by the way, I am searching for a semi-permanent on the semi-regular whenever we feel like scheduling it, because we're people and adults with busy schedules and lives. I need semi-regular co-hosts. Some of you have probably heard my co-hosted episodes with Nathan. Well, I would like to add 3 more. I already have 1 more kind of in mind, barring that I reach out to them and start scheduling things with them. But I do need 2 more. So are you interested in being a semi-regular guest co-host where we talk about whatever and kind of get into a groove of co-hosting episodes together, and maybe through the Digital Quill Media and the Digital Quill podcast, you could branch off of your own and kind of start getting your own audience? I don't know. I kind of just want to help people, because if I accrue an audience, I don't want it to be like a weird like competition thing. I want it to be like a, hey, I have an audience now. Look at this person. They're awesome. They also have a show that they want to start doing. Go over there. Go over there for a time being. I'll be fine. But like, yeah, so contact information will be at the bottom. If not, you probably already know how to contact me. So are you willing and ready to be part of the family? Of course. It doesn't have to be a permanent thing. It can be you show up every now and again for like 5-10 episodes. We can make a non-legally abiding contract where we don't have to keep our words. We just communicate and discuss that. I probably worded that incorrectly, but hey, on we trek. So before we continue to the next leg of this, because I got the Animal Crossing thing out of the way and the post that I wanted to share with you on Twitter X, which I will link my Twitter X, because if you're on it, please don't make me suffer the Twitter X trenches alone. Sometimes people can be scary there, as per the writing community and myself have witnessed several times over. Ah, man, I try to stay out of it. I did participate in the spreadsheet that was going on that people were keeping for like authors that are not good people, and I respect the mission, I do, but the message and also leaving it open access was probably not quite the way we should be delivering that, because it did kind of rub the noses wrong of a lot of people, including the ones who aren't really on the side of those authors either. So it's like a better discussion probably could have helped, and that's one of the reasons why I created this. To discuss things. I saw a comment, or several comments actually, in other like branches of the social media that I adventure to. We'll get to that in a second. I need to finish this idea and then we'll jump back to that. But I've seen some comments where we don't need more podcasts, and I'm like, what do you mean we don't need more podcasts? I disagree. I think we should have people willing to talk to each other like face to face or just voice to voice, because that is a very powerful thing, is that human connection, not through words and texts and pictures on screens, but rather through communication. And I've actually figured that out, not because of podcasts, but because of just regular talking videos, not voiceovers on TikTok over the years. And then I started listening to podcasts, especially around the last like 2 or 3 years, and a lot more the last year and a half, and a lot more this last like 6 months. So I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense. We should be talking like face to face and like person to person. Like Zoom meetings are really powerful. That makes sense. Talking like this just to an audience, that's like really powerful. Like, it's hard to explain, but I really think maybe we do need more podcasts, and I do think we need more people talking to each other. You're not going to change my mind on that. Good luck. I actually challenge you. If it sounds like my mind is made up and definitive on things, I actually challenge both you and myself to try to break it, because I'm curious. How strong is my resolve, and can my mind be changed in any aspects? I think the answer is yes. But how much and how little, and in what regard as to how? Questions I ask myself daily that I decide maybe asking the others in the world might help, because sometimes accountability through other people help us grow as individuals. Something to think about, food for thought. And after I decided to say that, food for thought. More food for thought. Breathe. Take a moment right now when you're listening to this episode and breathe. If you're driving or whatever, don't close your eyes, of course. Like, be safe about this, but like, focus on your breathing. Draw your attention to it. Are you breathing shallowly right now? Are you holding your breath? If you are, let it out. Breathe in. Breathe out. And now I want you to kind of guide yourself this time around. I want you to pick your number that you breathe into, hold to, and let go to. So breathe into 2, 3, or 4, 5, maybe 6. Try to extend that number each time by every like 2 or 3 breaths. Breathing and remembering to breathe is a very essential part of being human. There's a lot of studies that show that breathing is actually really good for a lot of muscles and memories and blood flow. It is unconfirmed to myself. More research is needed. However, I have heard of stories of people being able to cure some things of themselves, not just through breathing alone, but breathing did play a big part in it. That is something I want to study. And breathing has helped me through a lot of anxiety attacks and depression episodes, and getting my emotions under control when I'm enraged. Breathing is good. So as you're breathing and holding in those numbers, let go of whatever troubles you on each breath. See it escaping your body. Breathe in. Breathe out. And repeat that process over and over. And then slowly, ever so slowly, come back to prior breathing patterns. And if you meditated for just a moment there, because sometimes that's all it takes, is meditating for a moment. And good. Slowly bring yourself back. Open your eyes if you closed them. Not while driving. I need to start going live more on TikTok and start advertising or like promoting the different ways to support and like help the podcast grow, both income wise and like ability wise, because I'm really itching to start being able to like help in other ways. There are people I want to subscribe to who I think would be awesome to help. I can't necessarily do that in the positions that I'm in right now. After bills and stuff, I might as well have nothing. But because I do kind of already pay for some subscriptions for writing, amongst other things. Entertainment budget, education budget. I have budgets for things. I will never explain those fully because it is a sensitive topic, and I feel like those conversations are better had amongst friends or not at all. But at the same time, I'll challenge that one day and actually have those conversations as a challenge to myself, because that is really close-minded thinking that I just said right there. I've been going to the gym more. Let's see. Physical movement has always been a good thing to me. I used to be a really active kid. Stopped being active at some point and then became really active again. And now it kind of plateaued a bit. As with a lot of my things, I kind of need a peak to rise again, and I need to set myself up for some peaks, which kind of brings me back to the advertising thing. See, I derailed my conversation on that. I can't talk about it. It's hard. How do I just say, hey, I forget how much on TikTok, subscribe. Or, hey, I know times are tough right now, but for 30 a year, not 35, I keep getting that wrong, 30 a year, that means 30 right now. You would literally change my life by subscribing to Substack. Or how do I say, hey, the other thing, subscribe for $6.99, and you get a lot more of my personal life and like behind the scenes and stories. And it's like, how do I do that? I mean, I just did that, but like, how do I just be like, hey, thank you for your views and your love and your likes and comments and stuff, but like, could you ask, or maybe, possibly, oh God, no, I can't do it. I can't. It's, as I've told many friends before, if I can't do it myself, it's not going to get done. Because I don't want to ask for help. And I'm so aware that that is bad. I need to ask for help. I need to be like, hey, I need my community. Hey, I need my people. Hey, please do this for me so I can do this. And it's like, I'm getting better. I promise. But it's not there yet. Not there yet. Which brings me to my next thing, and this is far easier to ask because it does not require anything that I feel like is too much to ask. Facebook. I hate that place. I haven't really been there very much. I don't keep the app on my phone. I access it through my desktop. Have I? Maybe? Here. 1 second. I've already shown you the Twitter X. I might as well show you the Facebook too. And to keep people's private, or people privacy, I am going to open this and hide that like that. And then go here. Hi. See? Yep, there it is. That did not work quite like I hoped it would. Whatever. Yep. If you find this profile, you might be able to find some very inspirational, hopefully inspirational things. Oh, hey. Meow. I did start saying that a while ago. And yes, I just meowed. Deal with it. Writer, photographer. Emphasis on the writer now because, yeah. But Eh. One moment, please. I'm going to get rid of these tabs because I do not want them in the background. Okay. Hello again. It did not quite work how I hoped it would. Hopefully that is inconsequential. I hope it's inconsequential. Please be inconsequential. Anyway. Facebook groups. I load the thing. I use that as my source of Facebook, and it's worked out great. I stay in Twitter lands because it's more compact and people conversate in different ways. I feel like Facebook is different, and also I get a lot of ads. And also I hate Meta with a passion. I also hate everything else, like Musk and shit, with a passion, because, like, rich people doing rich people shit who are out of touch with reality and society on a large and humanity on a large, but, like, at the same time, I don't like certain ways of formats on social media, and I feel like had I been a MySpace person, I would be part of the majority who thinks MySpace should come back. I didn't really join Facebook until like 2014, maybe 15, maybe 13, probably 13 or 14. And it was one of the worst things I ever did. I mean, I learned a lot about the internet through that because I was part of like one of the biggest Facebook groups possible, and I made a lot of my Facebook friends who are still friends with me to this day, and I've seen blossom into amazing freaking human beings. Like, congratulations, guys. Some of you are really killing it. Some of you are trying your best, and just fucking keep going. I know shit's hard, but like, I believe in your ability and I believe in you, and I hope good things happen to those of you I shared so many spaces with back in the day. Minus one of you, and I think all of us from the cells know who that was, and some disgusting fucking people exist too, I'll tell you what. Not sponsored. Not sponsored in any way. You sponsor me. You as viewers and friends and fans and whatever the heck else I could use as a human adjective. Because to me, you're just humans, like people. And I love people and I love you. Thank you for existing and being here and letting me give you my time. If you don't know what that acronym means yet, if you don't know what me giving you my time means quite yet, then you're about to in a few minutes or less. Time to me means that I teach, inspire, motivate, or entertain. Giving you my time on any level means I want to do at least one of those things. Teach, inspire, motivate, entertain, because you are teaching me just as much as I hope on some level maybe I'm teaching you how to water yourself, or like how to love, how to learn to accept, let go. I don't know. Just something to make your life better and easier, and the path you walk on less thorny and dark. I don't mind being in the dark myself, and some people share the same sentiment, but I do mind people who don't want to be there being there and not knowing how to get out because it's the dark, the deep dark. Minecraft reference. And take the lantern. That's actually kind of funny. Take the lantern. Take the lantern of time that I'm offering you, because in you letting me give you that, and then you offering, or in you taking that, what you're also doing for me is you're giving me the ability to experience life. And I haven't really had a lot of that due to a lot of circumstances that I've shared in previous episodes and in social medias and in private chats. And I don't want people to experience what I've felt. As the storyteller Daniel Sherman has said, I wish you didn't relate. I wish this wasn't the mission. But it is. And that's one of the things that make being human so beautiful and tragic. So thank you. Thank you for existing. Thank you for being here. Thank you for giving or letting me give you my time. Thank you for giving me yours. Your time and my time and sharing it together have been a valuable experience so far to me, and I hope the same can be said to you. So yeah, on the note of community and Facebook and hating that, and on the note of you and us working together to hopefully find better lives for all of us, because it takes a village, I need people who spend more time on Facebook than I do, who know more about it than I do. I'm thinking 5 is an easy number. 5 I can communicate with on a slightly routine basis. And I'm hoping maybe my Discord mods will help and I can reach out to them on that. But at the same time, I don't want to give them too many, like, tasks. Like, hey, here, do all this shit for me, please. The aim is that it's not for me, but for us as a community, as a species, as a race, as a humanity. And by race, I mean the human race. The human race to the stars. No, I'm kidding. If you put a comma there, it changes the sentence. And anywhere, actually. If you put a comma anywhere there, it changes the sentence. Nice. Wonder what that is actually called. Grammar? 36 even. Nice. Alright. Facebook group. I need some of you, any of you, those of you who care about the mission, to be my admins and moderators, because I'll create it, I'll get everything ready for it, I'll even update it every now and again, I'll have you update it now and again for what's best suited, but like, because you can use your creativity and whatnot, but like, need 4 or 5 of you to be willing to be admins and mods for the Digital Quill Family Facebook, because I realize the answer was right in front of me. It says community, where else can I find it? Groups, Facebook, and then underlined is the F word. I want the Facebook group to embody the same elements as the Discord and the podcast and the Substack and the book. I want there to be an era of growing and healing and peace and comfort and love, but also like a soft place to land when everything's hard. Not because I only believe in positivity and not negativity or polarity or yin and yang, but because just because you have to survive sometimes to thrive, just because life is difficult and then easy, just because you have to go through trials and tribulations, just because that's just the way it is, and I wish we didn't all relate to that in one way or another. Doesn't mean we can't have an almost utopia or, as I said, a soft place to land when everything is hard around us. A vice, a grip, something to hold on to, a purpose, if you would. And the purpose can change. The idea, the mission, the dream can change, but what doesn't change is us needing people and needing each other. And I want to create those spaces for that, so that you can still have mess and be chaotic, because life isn't, life without that a little bit. And don't do it alone. Don't go about it alone. The family. We are all misfits here. We all have a story. We all have an idea, a dream, a passion, even if we don't have one right the heck now. We're all human. Or almost human. Don't do it alone. So, Facebook admins, anybody? Comment, reach out, email, something. Comment on my next Facebook post. Hi Mars, I want to be an admin. Send help. What are your requirements? I have these. The other thing I have written here is live on TikTok while I work on other projects like art or reading, and I kind of do like a Q&A because I'm going to be anxiously checking the comments anyway. that was pretty much all the community and podcast topics I wanted to talk about, kind of. So now I'm going to circle back to something that is far more the Digital Quill Press entertainment related. And by the Digital Quill Press entertainment related, I mean, and I really need to somehow figure out a way to blog and pod at the same time. Maybe not the same time. Although that is an idea I've considered, using the transcript to turn something into a blog, because it's stuff I've already said and would say if I wrote it out anyway. So, is that cheating? I feel like that's cheating. Am I plagiarizing myself to create content for the written part of my whole shebang? I mean, it's a cheap way of doing things, but at the same time, it's also a different access, because not everybody reads and not everybody listens, and some people can do either or. Oh yeah, I guess that would make sense. Wouldn't be such a bad thing. Sorry, I'm thinking out loud. Sometimes you're gonna get that from me. Circling back to earlier subjects that fall along the lines of Digital Quill Entertainment, the Digital Quill Press Entertainment, the Digital Quill Press. And, I've been rewatching shows again lately, and I'm starting to want to get back into movie watching, because when I start getting in a rewatch shows rut, a rewatch rut, a rut rewatch, rut row, I start to want to watch movies, because it's like almost less commitment to rewatch or watch something new. Like you get stuck and cemented in place for like an hour, or if you're like me, on some days you'll watch it over the course of like 4 days. That's a horrible way to watch movies, but I don't have like a movie theater where I get locked into my chair. So, movie recommendations and show recommendations, I guess, but movie recommendations. What do you got for me? What should I go see in theaters that's really good? I literally wrote, rewatching old shows, need new ones. Movies I prefer to watch after rewatching a movie, or after rewatching. Movie kick when shows bore me. Movie kick when shows bore me. Yeah, that makes sense. That's a note that makes sense. Yep. Good job. Good note-taking skills, Mars. Wonderful. It totally makes sense, but it's like not a complete thought, so I would have to create a complete thought after that. Future projects with the pod. I feel like I enjoy guest episodes more. I did say that at the beginning, and it's true. It's somebody to talk to and conversate with and ask stupid, insane questions that I sometimes have for people. I haven't asked any of the actually insane ones. Maybe I have. I don't know. I can't define what's actually insane to me, because it's so common to me that it might not be common to everybody else. And if you're a future guest listening to this, I am sorry, and as I said, please feel free to use your freedom and free will, because that is what you have on this podcast with me, to decline to answer, or be private about your answer, or shimmy away from the actual answer, because if you listen to the episode with Daniel Sherman, the storyteller, yeah, there were definitely moments he declined to answer, and that was fine. I was like, yes, secrets. Nice. They're not mine, so I don't have to keep them. Does everyone on this planet have secrets? And is everyone's aim to not have secrets or to keep more secrets? Because personally for me, I don't want to keep secrets. I probably would love a small town. To a point. If everybody was nice and not like secretly sketchy, hiding shit behind closed doors like bodies and probably drugs. I probably wouldn't be cool with certain drugs. I mean, by like certain drugs, I guess like dealing and like doing and like unsafe, unhealthy environments. There's like a difference between recreational, a problem, and medical. And then there's other nuances and layers to other stuff. So we'll get into those hopefully with other people in the future, because I'd like to. I'd like to explore all the nuances that involve recreational, medical, and other use of substances and whatnot. Because it is a science that intrigues the ever-living heck out of me. How does human brain and body and chemical react to each other, and in what way, and why, and can this be beneficial, and is that beneficial, and if that's not beneficial, then is this beneficial, and if this isn't beneficial in that category, will something over here be beneficial? And I like science, and also non-science, and also just learning. I'm sorry, all of that was a tangent. That was all a tangent. That's nice. Good job, Mars. Pat on back. Good job. Topics, gaming, media, project needs. Aha! That's something I completely forgot to talk about, besides asking for recommendations, because, yeah. But also at the same time, I leave you with this. Rewatching old shows is not a bad thing, even if you've seen it 700 freaking times. There are people who will tell you it is. Don't listen to them. If it is not harming you, if you're not like self-harming with it to the point where you're rewatching it and you're like bawling your eyes out, or like, you know, you might recognize those symptoms after a little bit of like what your video watching habits do. Like maybe it is like a form of like you're not like being kind to yourself, because when I was younger, as an example to that kind of media watching thing, I kind of knew what I was doing, because I would start bawling my eyes out every time after a while, but I would purposefully look up sad emo music videos, sad emo love songs or stories, and some of the grammar was atrocious. I had largely thought about making my own for years, and I kind of think I did try, but I did not have enough interest in it, because I was like, why am I doing this if it already exists? Yeah, the grammar and story kind of sucks, but my brain can fill in the gaps pretty well, because I read a lot anyway. So this is like a over 10 year ago conversation with myself. And I was like, yeah. So a lot of days between, because I started using YouTube and stuff like between 5th and 8th grade. So for those periods, I was watching YouTube, and I would type in sad emo love stories, or emo sad love stories, or any variation of sad depressing love stories, and yep. There were some periods, possibly, I will not disclose at this time, that it wasn't just that, and I am kind of glad on a lot of levels that I am far from that, and I actually have some coping mechanisms that might help with that are safer. We'll go over in another episode, or if you need the ideas now, feel free to, again, utilize the email or the Discord and message me, reach out. I will give you my tips on how to avoid certain activities against self. Another tangent, but that was actually a point that I'm surprised I had. And back to the gaming thing, officially. I still need to create that Amazon wishlist thing, but one of the things that I really want to do project-wise on the podcast is do Let's Plays. I think I've talked about this, but like I actually really want to do them, because that would be like killing two birds with one stone, a Let's Play and like dealing with my podcast and like community of gamers who are more interested in that part of the podcast, because like different strokes for different folks. Jack of all trade, master of none, Renaissance sim here. Hello. I consider myself pan, not gender fluid, but I could consider myself that, or not pan, androgynous, not gender fluid. But at the same time, I could consider myself fluid. I consider myself fluid just in general and like everything. Like I'm always kind of like going against and with the tide, and I am the tide. I am the water. I am moldable and formable and soluble, I think. Send help, science nerds. I need you. I haven't done science things in so long. I actually would like to partner up with a science partner and be like, all right, we got our goggles on and our lab coats and we're about to figure some shit out. It's like a better episode of Mythbusters because, I don't know. Not money related, just life related. Fortune and fame. What is the point? Bonus topics. Games. Games? Is that what that says? Night hike events. Meow. Yeah, I kind of need to get that HDMI converter thingy for the laptop to plug into the Switch to do the Let's Plays. And then I need to figure out how those work. So, like, I might just start researching them. So if a lovely fan or guest or human of the podcast wants to help me acquire one of those, I need to set some time aside to readjust my books. But, I have a cash stash somewhere I could do it, because that is something I want to do soon. I want to start that soon as another segment to this in a way. I don't know if you've noticed on the YouTube yet, but I added a Mars Tries Things video. There is a Mars Tries Things video with the co-host. We had Taco Bell chicken nuggets, which Daniel Sherman was right. In the episode, I don't know if you caught it, when I asked him what's one thing he'd want to tell the entire world, he said, Taco Bell chicken nuggets, go try them, or something like that, not verbatim. I'll link the episode and everything else I talked about, which, speaking of, I need to write those things down. He's right. Go try them. Go try them. You didn't hear that. Whatever you just heard or think you heard, you didn't hear, leave me alone. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Digital Quill Podcast with your host, Mars Wilson. This was episode 32 of the Digital Quill Podcast under the Digital Quill family umbrella, which also happens to host the Digital Quill Press and the Digital Quill Media and various partners that are all mine, because I haven't acquired a community of humans who have partnered with me yet in a way that I can consider it partnership, but soon I will have what I seek as soon as I get over being afraid of what I seek. Thank you for being here. Thank you for letting me share my time with you. I hope that you were able to be taught, inspired, motivated, or at the very least, and probably the easiest, entertained. Tune into previous episodes for more. Check links and descriptions for what's happening and what's been happening and other things. Please reach out via email, either the digitalquillmedia@gmail.com or dearmars2023, DEARMARS2023 @gmail.com for podcast guest inquiries, advice columns, clips, media, fan art, whatever the heck you want to send me. I screen it all because I am a one human person, band, thing, creature, being, feral raccoon. I don't freaking know. Thank you and goodbye. I hope you have a great day. Remember to breathe, and always, humans of Earth, keep going. Do not stop. We will get through this together. I believe in it. Bye.